In this video, we will learn about text formulas in Excel. Let's get started by learning about the left formula. Here I have hello in cell A2. Now let's see how the left function works. So when I type left and I hit tab, you can see it takes two arguments. First is the text string, which I can either manually type into this formula or I can use a cell reference. And the other is the number of characters. So let me first type the formula here, and I'm asking it to return the leftmost characters, two characters from this string, and it returns the left two characters, which is H and E from the word hello. Now as I said, we can either manually type it or we can reference a cell. So here I give a reference of cell A2, and again I ask it to return the two leftmost characters, and as expected it again returns two alphabets, which is H and E. Now let's see what happens if I do not give any argument, any number of characters to this formula. If I just use this, it returns the leftmost character of the word. So here in this case it returns H from hello. In case I use this string and I give the number of characters which is longer than the total length of this string, then it returns the entire string. So now if I give 8 while the length of this string hello is 5, it returns the entire string. And if I do not give any number of characters, if I make the value 0, then it returns an empty cell. While I can put a positive number or 0 as the number of characters, it does not allow you to give it a negative number as the number of characters, or else it would return a value error here. Here I have hello in cell A2. Now let me show you how the write function works. So as I type write, Excel prompts the function that matches as I'm typing, and I hit tab, and this auto completes the function. Write function takes two arguments: text, which is the text string, which can be either manually typed into this formula or a cell reference can be provided, and the number of characters. So in this case, let me manually type hello, and I give the number of characters as 2. This returns the two rightmost character of that string. So in hello, HELLO, L and O are the two rightmost characters of the string, and hence the write function returns this. I can use a cell reference instead of manually typing it, and again it gives the same result when I ask for the two rightmost characters. If I do not give any number of characters, if I just type A2 and I close the bracket, then it returns the rightmost character of the string. In this case, this is O, so it returns the rightmost character of hello. In case I use the number of characters value which is longer than the total length of the string, then it returns the entire string. So in this case I'm using 8 as the number of characters while the entire string length of hello is 5. So it returns all the characters. If for example I write something here, say morning, then it would return the entire string. If I do not give any value, if I use the value as 0, then it returns a blank cell, understandably because I'm asking it to return a 0 number of values from the right, which is a blank cell. While you can type a positive number or 0 as the number of characters, if you type a negative number, then it returns a value error. Here I have some data in cell A2, so I have the name of my website in cell A2. Now let me show you how the mid function works. So I type MID and hit tab to autocomplete the function. Mid function takes three arguments. First is the text from which you want to extract a string, so you can either manually type it into the formula or you can give a cell reference. The second is the start number, so you tell the function where you want to start extracting, what number of character should be your starting point. And number of characters is the number of characters that you want to extract. So you start from this number and you extract these many characters from the text string. So let me show you how this works. Let me first manually type hello in this function. My start number here is 1 and I want to get two characters starting from the first character in this text string. So I hit enter and it gives me HE. So it starts looking from the first character, which is H, and it returns two characters from there. So it returns H and E. Now let's see what happens when I use a cell reference. So I reference cell A2, which has the text Trump Excel. I give the starting position as 7 and the number of characters as 5. Now before I hit enter, let's see what we should expect here. So if I say 7, then it starts from T, from Trump Excel, and it counts T, R, U, M, P and a space. So these are 6. The 7th is E from Excel. So it starts from the 7th character, which is E, and it extracts the 5 characters, which is E, X, C, E, L. So we get Excel here. Now if I again use the same cell reference, but I give the start number as 15, which is longer than the length of the string of Trump Excel. So Trump Excel is a 12 character string, but I've given the start number as 15 and I give the number of characters as 5 or anything, it would return a blank because it starts from the end of the string and then it has to return certain number of characters which are not there, so it returns a blank. Now let's see what happens when I give the number of characters which is larger than the string. So I again give A2, I say start from the beginning of the string and give me 15 characters. Now since there are not 15 characters in this string, it will return whatever there is in that string. So it returns the entire word Trump Excel here in this cell. While I can give a number which is longer than the string, I am not allowed to give any negative number as the start number. So if I give start number as -1, it would return an error. And same is the case with the number of characters. If I give it as negative, so here if I give it as negative, then it returns an error. Here I have the text string hello in cell A2 and a number 123 in cell B2. Now let me show you how the len function works. So I type, and as I type you can see Excel prompts the name of functions that match the string that I have already typed into the cell, and I hit tab to autocomplete it. So I select len and I hit tab. Now you can see len takes one single argument, which is the text for which we want to find the length. So it will take text as the argument and would return the number of characters in that text. So here I manually type hello, and when I press enter, it gives me 5 because 5 is the number of characters in the string hello. Note that anything between double quotes is counted as a character. So if I introduce a space here, it would be counted as a character, and this returns 6 because there is a space here. I can use a cell reference instead of manually typing it into my formula. So I go and I select A2, which has the string hello, and it again returns the same formula, which is returns the same value, which is 5. I can use the same technique with a number as well. So I can have a number in double quotes and it will consider it as text and return the number of characters, which is 3 in this case. But if the number is in a cell, then I don't need to have it in double quotes. I can just give a cell reference and this should work fine. So it gives the result 3, which is the number of characters in this number 1, 2, 3. So this is how len function works in Excel. Here I have some data in cell A2 and B2. These are text with some of the alphabets capitalized in this. Now I'll show you how lower function works. So I go to this cell and I type lower. You can see Excel prompts me function names as I type. I hit tab. This auto completes the function. Lower function takes one argument, which is the text. It analyzes each character of the text, and if it finds any alphabet which is in capital case, then it converts it into lowercase. So let me show you how this works. I manually type hello and I hit enter. You can see that all the capital case words alphabets in hello have been changed to lowercase. I can do the same thing with a cell reference. So in A2 I have the same capital case hello. I enter it in my formula and hit enter, and it gives me the same result. Let me show you how this works if I have a text string where not all the alphabets are capitalized but some of them are. It would work in the same way, and any character, that is any alphabet that is in uppercase, would be converted to lowercase here. In lower, it only treats the alphabets. If you give it any number or any special character, then this would not work. Let me type 1, 2, 3 exclamation mark, and when I hit this, it remains unchanged because none of these is an English alphabet. So this is how lower function works in Excel. Here I have some data in cell A2 to A4. Now let me show you how proper function works. So I type proper, type PRO, and you can see Excel prompts me the name of functions as I type. I hit tab to autocomplete the function. Proper function takes one argument, which is the text, and it analyzes all the words and characters in this text, and it capitalizes the first character of each word. So let me show you how this works. I type hello, everything in lowercase, and I hit enter, and you can see it has capitalized its first alphabet, which is H. Now let me show you how it works if I give a cell reference and if I have more than one word in my text. So I select A2, which has Trump Excel, where T is in lowercase but somewhere in middle, E in lowercase but X is in uppercase. So as I hit enter, you can see the proper function completely sorts it for me. It capitalizes the T and E, and rest all characters, all alphabets are in lowercase. Now let me show you one interesting thing about this function. So if I take this text, which is S dot Bansal, which is my name, where S is capital, there is a dot in between, and then the B is in lowercase. Let's see how it works. And you can see it has capitalized the B as well. Now you may say that this looks like a single text, there are no spaces, so how can Excel determine that B was a new word, Bansal was a new word? In this case, this function works by converting any character that follows either a space or a special character. So in this case, this dot is a special character, and hence it converted S as capital, which was already capital, and B it converted into uppercase. Now there could be some disadvantage to it. So for example, if I change the reference here from A3 to A4, you see what happens. It takes this text and it converts the S in it is. So it takes the apostrophe as special character, and it thinks that the word that follows this apostrophe is another word, and hence it capitalizes the first character of that word. So this could be one disadvantage, but overall proper function could be really helpful if you get data or you import data from different sources. Here I have some text data in cell A2 and B2. Now let me show you how upper function works. So I type upper. Notice that Excel prompts me the name of the functions as I type. I hit tab to autocomplete the function. Upper function takes one argument, which is the text argument, and it converts any character that is in lowercase to uppercase. So it analyzes each character in the text and converts all the lowercase characters to uppercase. So let me show you how this works. I type hello in double quotes, and upper function converts each character into uppercase. Instead of typing, I can use a cell reference. So I use cell A2 and the result is the same. It had small small alphabets in lowercase hello, and it converts this to uppercase. Now see what happens when I use a B2. So in B2 I have two characters that are in uppercase and the remaining are in lowercase, and when I hit enter, the uppercase are as it is, but the lowercase characters get changed to uppercase. In case of numbers and special characters, nothing changes, and upper formula ignores these numbers and special characters, and these remain unchanged. So you can see that I applied upper formula here, but the number remains unchanged. Here I have some dummy data set in cell A2, A3 and B2. Now let me show you how find function works. So as I type find in Excel, you can see Excel is prompting me the name of functions as I type, and here is the description of find function. It says returns the starting position of one text string within another text string. Find is case sensitive. Now let me show you what this means. So I hit tab, it auto completes the function, and it takes three arguments. One is find text, the text which I want to find within text, which is the second argument, and third is the start number. So let's say I want to find the position of E, capital E, in the text Excel, and the start number should be 1, which means that it should start by looking at the beginning of this string, and I hit enter, and this gives me 1 because capital E is the first alphabet of this word. Now let me show you, if I type small e in the same formula, it gives me 4 because small e is the fourth alphabet in this word. As I just mentioned, find is case sensitive. Now let me change this, which I've manually typed, and let me select this B2 which has capital E in it, and now when I hit enter, it gives me the same result, which means that you can either type the text here or you can give a cell reference. Now let me show you something. Let me find the entire string Excel within excellent Excel, and the start number is 1. As soon as I hit enter, it gives me 1 because Excel starts here in excellent. So in excellent, the first 5 characters of Excel matches beginning from the first character, and hence it returns 1. But see what happens if I type 2 here. It gives me 11 because I've said that the starting position should not be the first alphabet but the second alphabet. So it starts looking from XCELLENT and Excel, and hence it gives me 11. However, the position that it returns is still the 11th position of the overall string, which means that while counting, it does counts the first E, while I have skipped it here when I mentioned 2. It means that it starts looking from here, but it returns the overall position of this E.
Here I have some data in cell A2 and E3. Now let me show you how replace function works. So I type REP, and note that Excel prompts the name of the function as I type. So I hit tab to autocomplete the function. And replace function takes 4 arguments. First is old text, where you want to replace some string. Start number is the start number character in that text where you want to start the replacement. Number of characters is the total number of characters you want to replace, and new text is the text with which you want to replace those characters. So let me show you how this works. I select A2 as the cell reference, which is the old text. In start number, I give 5, which means that it will start from the fifth character, which is A, B, C, D, E. E is the fifth character, so this will start replacing from E. In number of characters, I give 4, which means that it would take 4 characters starting from E. So it will take E, F, G, and H. And in new text, I want this to be replaced by an asterisk sign. So it will take E, F, G, H, and it will replace it with an asterisk sign. So let me hit enter, and you can see that it has replaced those 4 characters. Now let me show you another way to use replace function. So here I have an email ID trumpexcel@gmail.com, and I want to extract only the username, and I don't want the second half, which is @gmail.com. So to do that, I can use replace function. I type RAPLAC and I hit tab. In the old text, I use the cell reference A3. In start number, I give it as 11. Now, if you count Trump Excel, these are made up of 10 characters, and 11th character is @. So I want this to get eliminated @gmail.com, and hence I start with the 11th character. And I want to remove 10 characters, which is @gmail.com, which are a 10 character string. And the new text is a blank. So when I hit enter, it gives me the username Trump Excel, and it removes @gmail.com. Now, while you are allowed to give the start number as a positive number, you cannot give a 0 or a negative number as the starting position. So now let me show you. If I use the same thing, I use A2 as the old text, and in case of start number, I give -1. Let me give number of characters as 4 and this as star. Now if I hit enter, it gives a value error because I have given the starting position as -1, and Excel cannot start from -1. Excel can always start with 1 or more than 1. Similarly, if I again use A2 as the old text, start number as 1, and if I give the number of characters as -1 and the new text as asterisk, this would again give me a value error because Excel would need this value, the number of characters, to either be 0 or a positive number. Excel does not know how to replace a negative number of characters. So it gives a value error. Let me show you what happens if I put a 0 here. If I put a 0 here, it puts that asterisk sign at the beginning of this text. Why? Because I have given the number of characters as 0 and the start number as 1. So it goes to the first character. It begins from the first character, which is A, and it has to replace no character, but it just puts the asterisk sign there.
Here I have some text in cell A2 and A3. Now let me show you how the substitute function works. So I type substitute. Notice that Excel prompts the name of the function as I type. I hit tab to autocomplete the function. Substitute function takes 4 arguments. First is the text, where you want to change something, substitute anything. Old text is what you want to substitute. New text is what you want to substitute it with. And instance number is how many times do you want this changed. So now let me show you how this works. I select text as cell A2. So this is the text where I want to make changes. The old text here is small a. So I want to change the number of A's here with Z. So I want to change A with Z, and I want to change the first instance. So when I hit enter, you see that the first A has been substituted by Z, while all the other remaining A remain as it is. Now let me show you what happens if you change the instance number. So I again type substitute, hit tab, I select A2, old text is small a, new text is Z, and instance number is 3. Now let's see what happens. In this case, the third instance of A is substituted by Z. So you can see that the first A remains intact, second one remains intact, but the third one gets substituted. Now what happens if I do not provide this instance number in this case? So let me show you what happens. I select A2, old text is A, new text is Z, and I do not give any instance number. I just change this and see what happens. All the instances of A get substituted with Z. So you can see there are 3 A's and all the 3 get substituted by Z. One of the property of substitute is that this is case sensitive. So here if I type substitute, I hit tab, I again take this text and instead of small a I give it capital A, and I want to substitute this with capital Z, and the instance number is 1. Now see, nothing has changed in this text. It is the same text here in cell A2 because substitute function cannot find capital A, and since it cannot find it, it cannot change it. Now you can give the instance number as a positive number. You cannot give this as a negative number. If you do that, the function would give you an error. So let's see how this works. I select A2, I say change small a with small z, and the instance number is -1. See what happens? It gives me a value error because instance number cannot be negative. This function works well with numbers and special characters as well. So let me show you how this works. I put substitute function in the cell. I select A3 as the text. In old text I use @ which is there in cell A3, and I want to substitute this with this bar. And I close the bracket and I am saying change all the instances of @ with this bar, and I hit enter, and you can see that the change has been done. All the @ sign get replaced with this vertical bar. So this works well with numbers and characters as well. Here I have some data in cell A2 to C2. I have a name in A2, I have a number in B2, and I have a date in C2. Now let me show you how the text function works. So I type text, I hit tab. Text function takes 2 arguments. First is the value that you want to format, and another is its format in text, which means in double quotes. So now let me show you how this works. I select B2, which has the value 20,000 here, and I say that this should be formatted with this format, which is 2 decimals, and I hit enter. Now instantly this changes the format of B2 and it displays 20,000 with 2 decimal points. I can change the format here. I can make it 1 decimal point and it would change here. Now the benefit of text function is that you can use this to change the format of a cell and at the same time append it with some other text. So if example I ask you to write Tom did sales of 20,000 and with a decimal point, then you would not be able to do this using custom formatting very easily, but with text function you can do it easily. So let me show you how this works. I first go to A2, which has the text Tom, and I say and, which means join Tom to this text which I'm typing, did sales of, and again ampersand, and here I use the text function where I say B2 and the format is 0.00, enter. And you can see here it gives the text Tom did sales of 20,000 with 2 decimal zeros. Let me introduce a space here so it looks better. So here you have the text where it has added a sentence or text to the value, and the value is in the format that you specified. You can do this using custom number formatting as well, but text function gives you a very easy way to do this, and this is very customizable. You can change the name here from Tom to Brad, and this would change automatically. Again, let me show you how to use text formatting to create long sentences. So I can again use here Brad ampersand space did sales of space ampersand. I use text function here. I say give me b2 in the format 0.00. I in double quotes I close this and I say ampersand, and this sales was done on, and I give again text function where I would use this date. So I would say I only want the month here, so I give the format MMM, which would only give me month and not this entire date, and I hit enter. And you can see I have the text which says Brad did sales of 20,000 on Feb. So you can change this. I know this is wrong English, it should be in Feb, but you can change this accordingly. You can try and use, say, if you want year here, so you can use this, and this would give you Brad did sales of 20,000 in 2014. So this gives you the flexibility to choose the format for the numbers, for the dates, and append it with text so that it makes it dynamic. I can go and I can change here. I can write March 2013 and this would automatically change. So this is the benefit of using text function in Excel. I hope you found this useful. Thank you and have a nice day.